Dixon Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk99.5.com. Appreciate you tuning in, hanging out with us here on this lovely Thursday morning, which feels an awful lot like a Friday morning. You know why? Because I'm not going to be here tomorrow. That's why. That's why. And I like it. You will be blessed, however, to have Valerie Vining and her very good friend
Brooks Badette.
Yes, that's her.
Brooks, always coming with some good legal advice.
Yeah, people love it when she's on.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't love it more than when I'm on. If they ever do, then it's going to be Burdette and Vining. We're looking at sunny skies and 85 today, sunny and 88 tomorrow. Tiny chance of rain coming to the like literally 20% chance Saturday night, but that grows over Sunday. It's far enough away now that I'm just not that worried about it, and I think you shouldn't let it disrupt your plans if you can, if possible. Okay, all right. Excuse me.
It's true. But enjoy today. Today is going to be gorgeous.
I have a cough button over here, and I just turned my head and coughed without pressing it.
I see that. That's all right. Hit the button. Yeah, get out today. If you didn't get out yesterday, I mean, late in the day I was outside, and I was just like, it feels so good. The humidity's low. I think we'll be a little bit warmer today, but still just gorgeous today and should be very nice tomorrow as well.
Yes, indeedy. As things have gone over the past couple of days, it's just nice to finally be out of the rain,
It is.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the rain.
Rain is good.
The rain was nice.
Rain is good.
It was nice to be out from under it for a change. I don't know how many people saw this story yesterday about the bank hostage situation.
Yeah, that was kind of under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of quiet. It was like, wait a minute, this has been going on 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, huh?
This was a guy, Chase Bank, okay, bomb threat, 15-hour hostage standoff in Bakersfield, California. Guy claimed he had a bomb strapped to him, right? It was an Army veteran who was dishonorably discharged, had a history of trouble with law enforcement, was a registered sex offender. Authorities said during the standoff, Anthony Scott Searles Harris, that's his full name, Anthony Scott Searles Harris, expressed frustration toward the legal system and allegedly targeted the bank to gain notoriety and the FBI's attention. Well done. The hostages, who are in Kern County School District employees who work in the same building as the bank, were not harmed during the situation. Victims received medical evaluation at the scene. Searles Harris was pronounced dead on the scene as well, as he was taken out with an officer-involved shooting. In other words, one of the cops on hand, possibly a sniper, from a distance. We don't know all the details about it, but apparently managed to get this guy taken out while he was...
somebody had a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
That's what they had.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably saved the lives, potentially, of some people in that bank.
Well, and the question becomes, was it a real bomb? Was it a fake bomb? There's a classic Justified episode where a guy goes into a bank and is going to rob it, and he claims he's strapped up with dynamite, and Raylan Givens just punches him in the face and says, I used to work in the mines. We know the difference between railroad flares and actual dynamite in this part of the country, son. So, yeah, I have no idea whether or not he was just, but they have to take all of these seriously.
Of course.
And consequently, they acted as if it was a real bomb, whether it was or not, we don't know. And then took the guy out, which is always an exciting thing to see if you've ever seen that video, where there was one in particular where a guy was holding a woman hostage. And I mean, there was about less than a quarter of his face exposed. And sharpshooter took him out, just dropped him right there. He, boom, on the ground. Amazing how quickly these guys can act and how good they can be when necessary, which is why it's just a bad idea to try to rob a bank to begin with. It's a little bit like, 9/11 ruined hijacking for everybody.
Yeah.
That's not to say that, hijacking was a good time before that, but if anybody...
We don't want to encourage it.
No, but if anybody ever was like, I'm going to hijack a plane and take it to Cuba...
Which was happening quite frequently from Miami.
Often enough.
Right.
Often enough.
It's like, y'all quit hijacking the planes. We got other places to go.
And when when they would do that, now, everybody on the plane would attack them. They would throw books at them, whatever they had, their laptop. This guy would go down in flames. They'd jump on him, take whatever weapon he had, and beat him senseless and duct tape him to a chair until they got to their destination.
It just happened the other day where this guy had a lot to drink, tried to open up the emergency door, and this MAA fighter got on top of him. I mean, he wasn't even that big a guy, and held him. And then they started getting all these hand ties and everything else, tied him up, and had to do an emergency landing to get the plane down on the ground and get this guy
Yep.
off to jail. But it's just, yeah, people don't. After 9/11, no one messes around. You do some kind of funny business on the plane,
Ooh.
it's all hands on.
It's over for you.
Everybody's
on board with it, and it's getting to be that way with bank robbery because every bank has now got cameras. Many of them actually have facial recognition cameras as you're walking in. You can't rob an ATM anymore either. I mean, there was a time when there were programs that you could put into an ATM to make it spit out money. But as soon as you go pick that money up, the camera on the ATM has your face, and now they know who took all the money. So you can't do it. It's a bad idea. Even if the ATM makes mistakes, like not too long ago, there was one, not in this area, but where they put hundreds in instead of 20s. Oops.
Yeah.
And so when you asked for $100, it spit out $500 to you, and people were going to town on it. And the bank was like, we have all your faces.
You got to bring it back.
We know who all of you are. By the way, you already typed in your PIN, so we know you. You know what?
Kind of dumb.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. They're like, well, it's your mistake, not ours.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter either.
Strangely enough, there's a really good documentary about the bank robber who was he was the master of disguise. He would go in, and he was always made up in some new fashion. He'd have a big old mustache and a deerstalker cap on, or he would put on blackface and a pair of wire-rimmed glasses, or he had prosthetic noses. All this stuff that he was doing. He was also a raving nudist, right? And he would build he built this treehouse that he lived in, and it was this ginormous, environmentally unsound piece of work that I think he got cited on a couple of times by the city or the county. But everybody, all of his friends would come party with him and hang out with him while he walked around his treehouse nude. And he eventually got caught. Like somebody figured it out. Somebody figured out who he was. And it was one of those cases where they showed up. There was like a big standoff. He went into his RV, which was his other means of living. When, for instance, there was no bathroom in the treehouse, so he had to have something that had the ability to use the bathroom. So he went into his RV, and they heard a gunshot, and then they surrounded the thing, and they were like, "Come out with your hands up!" And 15 hours later, somebody finally had the guts to open it up and go, "Oh yeah, he shot himself 15 hours ago. He wasn't going to be taken alive, you know."
No.
But he got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. There was one day he robbed 3 banks in one day, all within a
Very
couple
hard
of miles
to do that
of each
now.
other. Oh, you couldn't
Very
get away with
difficult.
it now.
Yeah.
You could not get away with it now. Why do they have to ruin our fun? Why do they do that? They ruined the hijacking. Now they're ruining the banks. What are we going to lose next, huh?
It's not such
Identity
a bad thing.
theft? I mean, come on.
That would be nice.
Some of us are just barely getting our criminal careers started here.
That's right.
Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158, the guys you call when you have a tree that you are questioning. You're looking at it and you're going, does this need to be taken down? Is there a way we could just trim it up? Is there a way we could save it? The answer might be yes to all three. Alabama Tree Pros will come out and they'll give you the once over. And if it can be saved, they'll tell you, which is cool because that'll save you a good bit of money. Taking a tree down is not ever going to be cheap. Now, when you use Alabama Tree Pros, it's less expensive than the other guys, but it's never going to be cheap. So you call them at 308-4158 and you say, I need you to come out and take a look at this thing. Maybe you already know you want it taken down. Maybe you know you want the stump ground up. Maybe you know exactly what you want. That's great. You can tell them that too. They are going to charge less, and they are safe. They're expert. They're wonderfully in tune with what they do. I've never seen a team that works together better than these guys did. AlabamaTreePros.com, 308-4158. 3 things coming your way next. Not only can Nancy Wilson still play that riff on the guitar when she reaches that high point, that one right there, she, at 70 years old, kicks her leg way up in the air.
Ow, that might hurt.
I was just,
you might pop something.
She's still an absolutely brilliant guitarist.
It's like, ah.
And Ann hit most of the notes. I got to give her props. I mean,
it's pretty amazing.
If I were them, I would have tuned everything down 2 or 3 steps. They didn't do it. They were like, nope, we're doing it in the original key. And if we hit the notes, great. And if we miss them, well, give us a little break. We're kind of old.
That's what the audience wants, right?
I would have been okay with them lowering it. I'm just saying. They could have if they wanted to, but they didn't. I got to give them props for that.
Yeah.
Hart was fantastic. 8:19, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com.
And just like Hart, your expectation, if you have a water issue at your home, is that it's going to get taken care of the very first time you call B-Dry. And you can be assured of that because of their strongest lifetime warranty in the business. Folks, B-Dry Foundation and Waterproofing really believe what David Feven and the guys at B-Dry can do for you. Home of the lifetime warranty. And now, for a limited time only, 25% off encapsulation. Hurry and take advantage of this. You can lock it in and dry it out today. No more water problems. And I know many of you dealt with some issues over the couple of weeks that we have those heavy rains. It's a very good time to call B-Dry and say, look, something's going on in my house. There's so much humidity. The crawl space, maybe there's a puddle of water there, or maybe even in your basement. If you encapsulate this and you let these guys take care of these problems, then you no longer have to deal with it. Plus, you're dealing with somebody that is a locally owned and operated company. You really like these guys. They'll take care of it for you. They're the pros in the business. And when you talk about cracking in the foundation, I know that sounds really serious and almost like, God, I don't want to deal with it. It's not going to get better on its own. It really does need somebody like B-Dry to take a look at it and go to work and get it done and get it fixed so you don't have to worry about it anymore. So get in touch with B-Dry today at bdryalabama.com. Here's the number. Call them today, 205-942-1976.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, we have covered Ibrahim Yazid wanting a new trial. We have talked about Donald Trump and Iran. We've worn most of the news out today, so let's talk about some of the stuff we haven't touched on yet. 2 scientists were charged with bringing deactivated monkeypox virus into the U.S. and lying to authorities.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy. They were actually coming from their home country of Africa, lying about it during interviews with investigators at a Michigan airport. A criminal complaint was unsealed in federal court in Detroit against Vincent Munster.
It's true. Like Munster cheese.
He's chief of the virus ecology section at Rocky Mountain Laboratories in Hamilton, Montana, and Claude Quih, who works with him. Quih. K-W-E.
Is that how you say it?
Quih.
Quih. Sounds like you're missing something.
It does,
there.
doesn't it? I'm like, where's the rest of his name?
Like,
Munster and Quih were stopped at Detroit Metropolitan Airport in January after a flight from Paris and 9 days in the Republic of Congo. An outbreak of the monkeypox disease has been linked to more than 2,000 deaths in Congo, a vast region in Central Africa, though a 2-year outbreak was declared over in April. Oopsie.
Great. And you're bringing it here to the U.S.
Yeah, by the way, to be clear, this story regularly refers to it as M-pox.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with monkeypox. That's where it came from. Came from monkeys.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I don't know why they feel the need to be like, oh, let's go walk on eggshells here.
Chinese virus, monkeypox. Don't be afraid. Just say it.
Hong Kong flu, all of it.
Hong Kong flu.
Ford had to recall nearly 420,000 vehicles for a seatbelt issue. Wow.
That's a lot of vehicles.
A lot of vehicles. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said in a report Tuesday that the recall includes certain Ford Expedition and Lincoln Navigator vehicles, model years 2018 through 2022. Issue involves seatbelts that may lock inadvertently, not allowing them to retract or expand. The NHTSA report says a seatbelt that doesn't retract or extend may result in an injury if a crash happens. Individuals may also face injury in some instances if the seatbelt retracts rapidly. You ever have that happen on you?
Yes, you about break your neck doing that.
It just flips up and the belt hits you, the little buckle hits you in the face as it's going by. You're like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? Calm down. They've largely figured and fixed those problems, though. I miss the, my mom had a Toyota Cressida. back in the day when she would get in, start the vehicle, and the seatbelt would automatically wrap around her. And the
I remember
doors
that.
automatically lock.
Yeah.
And then a voice would say, "Goodbye, Mr. Bond." No.
You will die.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but it was kind of cool that it just automatically. I think they had to do away with that. People were a little freaked out. Like, how do I get this off?
Yeah,
What if,
yeah.
you know,
What if it locks me in?
like
I can't.
Your dad cutting the
Oh, just
seatbelts out
cut 'em out,
entirely. He
yeah.
was just like, I want nothing to do with these.
Cut them out.
On the off chance
Yep.
that I may.
Then
My
the
dad
other
was
one,
always like, I'm
the
never
other
gonna
one
hurt
too,
her.
is this Ford issue on the Bronco.
Yeah,
This is even a little more serious.
it is. This is a big one, man.
Yikes.
They've actually issued a do not drive advisory for the Bronco Sport and the Maverick models. There's certain Mavericks that you're not supposed to drive either. Yikes. Okay, what is the story here?
Suspension.
Yeah.
Defect.
The recall was internally approved May 19th, addresses a potential manufacturing defect originating at the vehicle assembly plant where the front lower central arm ball joints may have been incorrectly installed or repaired. That according to the NHTSA. Officials said the manufacturing defect may result in loss of vehicle control while driving, increasing the risk of a crash.
This is really serious. And again, they've issued an urgent do not drive
Don't drive.
advisory.
Do not drive it.
Bronco Sport and Maverick models.
How are you supposed to get it
I don't
to
know.
the site for the recall
You
fix?
pull it over and call a tow truck. I don't know.
That's it. That's all I can imagine.
But if it's to save your life and maybe others on the roadway, this is extremely dangerous. And the recall, they said it's for about 4,600 vehicles. So
That's a lot. My sister-in-law had a Ford Ranger at one point. I liked that truck because it was dark green, and I really liked that color, and I envied her right up until the drive shaft fell out.
Oh.
Only the front of it, though, okay? So she's driving down the road. The drive shaft, front of it drops, and she becomes like a pole vaulter. The whole vehicle goes up in the air and boom, comes back
how
down
horrible.
again. Yeah, she had some back problems as a result of that. They took the thing in to get it repaired. It was almost beyond saving. 2 years later, Ford comes up with a recall on that vehicle. 2 years later, they're like, hey, there's a chance the drive shaft could fall
There's
out.
You think?
Yeah.
lot of lawsuits in those 2 years that could happen too. What are you doing?
One would think.
Don't risk it. Stop the cars.
Well, there was a time when these automobile manufacturers would take their chances, you know? They would just be like, you know what? Let's see it. Maybe nobody discovers it. Maybe we get
Ford
away
and
with
the
it.
Pinto.
Yeah.
The gas tank.
Maybe nobody
exploding.
notices. It's possible we could get away with this. You're not getting away with this. The CEO of an Iran tech company has been arrested on the federal charge of supplying U.S. equipment to Iran's nuclear and military establishment. Dual U.S.-Iran national and CEO of an Iran-based technological company was arrested on a federal criminal complaint charging him with violating U.S. sanctions against Iran by acquiring sophisticated U.S. origin networking, security, and encryption equipment for Iranian customers, including the Iranian regime's nuclear and military establishment. Guys, this is exactly what we're talking about here. First off, why do we have an Iranian citizen owning an Iranian company in the United States of America while, you know, their main battle cry remains death to America and death to Israel? This is where you kind of go like, you know what? I'm not sure we want you here. I'm not sure you should be here. Now, he has dual citizenship. Maybe he was born here. I don't know. But he was then managing to get his hands on high-tech, American high-tech equipment, technology, networking software, and then selling it to the very people that we're trying to stop right now. What the hell?
It doesn't make any sense at all. And this guy's living in like a mansion. If you haven't seen a picture of his house, oh my gosh, I'm like, dude,
well,
you are living right out in Santa Ana, California.
It makes sense to him. He's like, this is how I get the money.
This is awesome.
This is where the money comes from.
Right.
If I had to make money off of just actually doing my job the way I normally would do it, I couldn't live in a house like this. I have to be stealing from the American people and becoming a danger to society.
Well, at least he was in the right state to do that.
Yeah, that is true. Santa Ana, California. Flipsy's Furniture, 1811 Crestwood Boulevard, 28,000 square feet of showroom there. More in the basement, and something that will fit every decor. I love this about Flipsy's, that you can go in there, and if you live in a Tudor, you'll find something that fits the Tudor. If you live in a fully carpeted, built in the 2010s house, and you need a lot of beige, guess what? They've got it. If you move into a house that, like mine, was built in 1914, and you need something that's a little more fitting to that style, they can outfit you, man. It's truly wonderful to have something from kind of every era, something that'll fit any and all decors, more in the basement as well. Living room suits, bedroom suits, dining room suits. You can't go wrong with Flipsy's Furniture in their 1811 Crestwood Boulevard location. Now, if you live in Hoover, you want to go to the Hoover location, more Hoover-centric, right there on Highway 31. It is next to 2nd and Charles. It is across the street from the Galleria. In both locations, you're going to get designer furniture at wholesale prices. Designer furniture, wholesale prices. White glove delivery, which is fantastic. Costs a little bit more, worth every penny, please. Get that. You will not regret it. And then, you got 12 months same as cash, which is awesome. Huge selection, little bitty prices. That is Flipsy's Furniture. Flipsy's Furniture with 2 locations, flipsysfurniture.com, 8:30 our time. Boy, it's difficult to know where to go next because this is what we call a target-rich environment.
Indeed, that today or this week.
It really
last
has
few
been.
weeks.
On any given day, people could say, like, what did you talk about this morning? And most days it'd be like, that was a long time ago. I don't even remember. Yesterday it was like, well, number 1 was Iran. Number 2 was Scott Pelley getting fired. Number 3 was the Alabama Supreme Court, or the Supreme Court okaying Alabama's map, and there's more conversation about that. And then we still got the challenge for Tommy Tuberville and whether or not he really lives in the state of Alabama. And, well, yeah, target-rich environment, to say the least. 545-9950, drop us a line if you're so inclined. 8:35, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Lovely day, 85 for a high, sunny. Looks about the same for the next couple of days. Some rain in the forecast for the weekend. Don't worry about it. While studies find the majority of wealthy residents flocking to states like New York and California, one Alabama city has attracted them with its offerings.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Brook.
The tiny kingdom.
It has secured a spot among America's most affluent communities, ranking 24th in a new national analysis of wealthy suburbs. Birmingham suburbs stood out as the only Alabama community to make the list of 50 wealthiest suburbs nationwide.
Maybe Fairhope. You hear about Fairhope a lot?
Fairhope is lovely.
Yes.
I enjoy that.
Trying to think who else.
Op?
Op.
No.
That one didn't come to mind.
Study analyzed average household income, home values, and year-over-year growth rates that identify the county's most prosperous suburban areas. Isn't it interesting, by the way, that, there was this tiny little church that was in a fairly poor section of the country that decided maybe they needed to pick up and move, and the Lord told them to move to Mountain Brook. What are the odds? Church of the Highlands, from out of nowhere, moves from a tiny little, very poor section of the country to one of the most affluent suburbs in the United States, and suddenly explodes in size.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I guess God steered them in the right direction, huh?
Yeah, sure. If you want to look at it that way, why not?
Home values in the suburb reached $1,093,413 in April of 2026.
Ow.
Climbing 6.6% year over year based on Zillow Home Value Index data.
Is that an average? Or is that just the
Probably,
high?
yeah.
They said that it reached, home values
Yeah, I don't
reached
know.
that. I don't
What does
know
that
that.
mean?
Yeah. I don't know
If
either.
that's average, wow. Have at it, Mountain Brook. Gee.
Look, Mountain Brook is very nice in a number of ways. I did get pulled over there once. I was going to visit Spud back when his dad was alive, and he lived with his dad.
They saw you and we got to pull that Dixon guy over.
They had a question
What's
about
he doing over here in this part of town?
It was more like a guy driving that kind of car. I don't remember what it. I think. I remember. I had my Chrysler Sebring, and it was a
you're
little
okay
tore
in
up.
that.
No, it was a
Yeah.
little
Not
tore
Mountain
up.
Brook,
Was
you're
it
not-
torn
yeah.
up?
A little tore
Well, a
up.
new one.
Yeah.
Not in Mountain
What-
Brook, sorry.
No.
A new one when he got. What year was that when you got it?
Oh, it wasn't new.
It wasn't,
No,
but-
I bought it used.
Oh,
and
they
then
saw you coming.
And then I had an accident.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
now you're you
Yeah.
got rust on the area where you had the wreck.
It was actually my bumper wasn't quite hanging properly.
Oh,
Yeah. So I kept having to kind of put it back in place. I'd get out of the vehicle, I'd go over and kind of kick it and put it back where it was supposed to
did
be.
you have duct tape on it?
No,
No
I
duct
didn't
tape?
have that.
Okay, that's
no,
good.
that was good.
Yeah, that's
But
always.
they did pull me over and say, "Can we ask what you're doing in this part of the world?" I said, "I'm going to visit my friend Spud." Oh, Spud. I said, "Yeah, he lives
Yeah,
right over
everybody
there."
knows
They're
him.
like, "Yeah, yeah, okay, go ahead."
So
Carry on.
I looked it up. Zillow says average home price in Mountain Brook roughly $1.041 million. Average home price.
Wow. Means half the homes are less than that, I bet. The
It
other
says
half-
the median sale prices range between $975 and $1.01 million.
Good Lord.
Median. Ouch.
The people there feel safe. I love Mountain Brook Village.
Mm-hmm.
Great
It's
little
very
place.
lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's very walkable.
Yeah.
Got a lot of great stuff there. We were just at Davenport's last year when we were doing the pizza thing.
Mhm.
It was delightful. People pick on Mountain Brook, and there's a lot to have fun with. But the reality is, we all kind of want to live there, don't we?
It's very convenient to a lot of things in Birmingham.
Yeah.
If that's where you want to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there are some places with bigger yards, and there are
Mhm.
some places with no yards. And then there are, condos and apartment complexes all over the place in Mountain Brook that I look at and go, no, not for me. But there is a certain attraction to, my toilet's overflowing. No, the landlord's toilet is overflowing. That's not your problem at all, my friend. It's my problem because I do have to use the toilet, but eventually. Mountain Brook distinguished itself as one of the few southern communities to appear on the list. Locations in Alabama, Texas, and Florida comprising less than half of the ranked spots. Wow. Eligible suburbs needed at least 5,000 households and had to be part of a metropolitan statistical area without being classified as a principal city. Well, that explained why Jasper didn't make it. So,
And sorry, Roger, that explains
Poor-
slap out.
slap
Poor
out.
Jasper.
Yeah,
Slap out didn't make it.
No, it didn't.
That's a shame.
So what was number one?
I don't know.
New York, Scarsdale.
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 Them and their diet.
West University Place, Texas was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Rye, New York 3. Los Altos, California was 4.
How about Bel Air at number 18? The Fresh Prince lived
Yeah.
there at one point.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Colleyville at number 46. I don't even know what that is. Is that Texas?
Don't know.
Oh, Pinecrest, Florida. How about that? All
Oh.
fancy. I went to Pinecrest Elementary School.
Oh, really?
Well, now it's a community with the school.
Yeah. Well, this explains
But this
a lot about you.
This totally changed. This didn't. When I grew up, this was not it.
Sure.
It was not. I promise you.
I bet.
I promise you. Now they have their own police department. They didn't have that when I
Ooh.
was growing up.
The elementary school has its own police department.
No.
Are they kitty cops? Do they
Wow,
ride
there's a lot
around,
of crime in that.
They
A lot of
like-
crime in that
Pinecrest.
elementary school.
pull people over on big wheels? Just like,
Yeah, that whole area is really changed.
going? Man, oh man! I lived a stone's throw from Edina, Minnesota, which was like a really high-end suburb for Minnesota. That was where the wealthy people lived, and sometimes just for fun, you'd get in the car and just kind of drive through there to look at the mansions and the really nice houses. And certainly nothing was $1 million back then, but a very expensive house when I was in high school was $450,000. Now, of course, that's your average home. I remember one time we actually got a worksheet talking about how much you're worth. This was in like a, I don't know, social studies class or something like that. And it was, trying to get us ready for life in general. But it asked like, do you have a mortgage that's more than $10,000? And I looked at it and I was like, doesn't everybody have a mortgage that's worth more than $10,000?
One would think.
Ignore that. These tests are several years old. Like they go back to about 1968. And I thought, in 1968, you could buy a house for $10,000?
Not much more than.
What happened?
I mean, I found out a person I used to work with became a real estate agent, sold the house that I grew up in Bluff Park. And this was about not quite 10 years ago. It sold for about $350,000. In 1973, my mom and dad bought it for $32,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that kind of puts it in perspective.
It really does. I mean, and that's why we always say, figure out how much house you can afford, buy a little more. Buy a little more than you can afford, because within 10 years, those payments are going to be much more reasonable than they are right now. I'll never forget driving through a place called Peacock Run, I want to say it was. No, Quail Run. Peacock Run was one neighborhood over.
Peacocks, quails, whatever, one
Same
of
thing.
those
Flying.
things, one of
Some
those
bird.
birds.
Yeah. We were looking at Christmas lights.
Right.
And my then father-in-law, pulls over. We're looking at this very richly decorated house, and it was a ginormous. I mean, it was just a huge mansion of a house. And he goes, "We almost bought that house." I was like, "Get out of here." He goes, No, we almost bought that when we moved here. Let me see. My wife was probably 30 at the time, and when they moved, she was 2, so it was like 28 years before. I said, "Well, what stopped you?" And he goes, "I didn't think I could handle the $280 a month payments." $280 a month at that point was such a joke, and this thing was a massive mansion. So yeah, buy a little more house than you think you can afford.
It's like the people that back in the 50s and 60s that didn't buy, any beach property.
Right.
Gulf Shores, any of that property, Orange Beach, who are now kicking themselves going, God, if I had my parents or your grandparents had bought something and left it to you.
Absolutely.
You'd be living on a gold mine.
I went down to Gulf Shores in 1989 or 90.
Almost bought something?
No, there was nothing there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was amazing. There were condo structures that had been started and were abandoned because they never could get the investors. Nobody would buy.
Well, and a good hurricane really shakes things up too.
Absolutely.
Anytime that happens,
make a
you
mess
see
of
it.
things.
Everybody's like, I'm selling, sell. So that's the time to buy.
But a little bit like driving down now, there was a time when Lloyd's on 280, that was the end of the
Oh
world.
my goodness, pack a lunch
Yeah,
to
no
get to
kidding.
Lloyd's.
You get past Lloyd's, and it actually had a little thing that said, "Here there be tigers." You were at the
Yes,
end of the
it
Back
world.
when
It
Chelsea was
was.
nothing.
It was nothing, absolutely. Gulf Shores was the same way. You'd go down there, there'd be the Pink Pony Pub, there would be the Spot, which was right next to it. The Hangout didn't exist.
Nope.
You turn left, you'd go through, there'd be 5 or 6 hotels. By the time you got down to where the Hilton was, beyond that, it was just
nothing.
no man's land.
It was great.
Now, of course, you can't see the beach because it's Phoenix 7, Phoenix 11, Phoenix 22. There's 217 condos down there, and they're all full all the time. Yes, to her credit, my ex-wife said at one point, if we were smart, we would borrow all the money we could and go down there and buy a piece of that property. It's only about $120,000 right now.
And that then probably was a lot of money for you guys.
Of course it was. It was an insane amount of money. We didn't have that kind of money, but she was right. If we could have borrowed that kind of money and gone down and bought, and I'm not just talking about a flat piece of property. I mean, there was a house on that property for $120,000. I mean, we didn't do it because we're morons. We also didn't buy Microsoft, and we didn't buy Apple at 5. That's why I'm still here
How about
working,
the
people. If
video?
you're wondering why Richard shows up every
You
day,
got some NVIDIA stuff?
I didn't get any NVIDIA. Haven't purchased that. I told you earlier I have no gold.
No gold.
No. I'm eating beanie and weenies at my house.
Poor Richard.
846 with Dixon and Vining. Work Trucks is downtown at 2324 3rd Avenue South. It is a wonderful place to get your next truck. Bubba and company have worked very hard to take what was once just a standard run-of-the-mill used truck dealership and expand it, grow it. Now, of course, they've got their service center right across the street. They are the Southeast #1 pre-owned work truck dealer. You would think something like that would be in a place like Charlotte, North Carolina, or Nashville, Tennessee, or maybe Atlanta, Georgia. No, it's here in Birmingham, Alabama. And you can find out more about it by going to worktruckswithanxllc.com. If you need a truck for your business, worktrucksllc.com, or drop by live and in person, 2324 3rd Avenue South, where they are all about trucks. Man, in 73, this song was on every radio all the time. 72, 73,
It
somewhere
sounds
around
even
there.
older than that.
It does? Really?
Yes.
Helen Reddy, great
Yeah.
polished voice. Loved her work. 851 Talk 99.5, Talk995.com with Dixon inviting. Bill drops us this line. Mountain Brook class of 1983, Mel Brooks quote, "It's good to be the king."
I Am Woman, 1972.
1972.
Yeah, you were pretty close.
I was in the zone there.
Yep.
Chris says, "Hey, Richard, talking about home values, my parents bought a home in 1966 in Homewood for $16,000. That home is now listed for sale, $650,000. 1966 to today.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, well, the cost of a college education's gone up, too. Fran says, let's not forget Smith Lake homes are pushing $1 million. Lovely area. Yes, it is a lovely area.
Smith Lake and Lake Martin.
Oh, yeah.
That is really booming.
Very nice. Jonathan says, in 1976, land on 280 past Pump House Road was $100 an acre, $200 if you wanted it cleared. Mm-hmm. I remember when the Target there was new. When they just put that new Target in, they'd done some blasting and whatnot, and it was a big deal over there.
That whole shopping center.
That entire shopping center that used to have, everybody's like, is that where the Best Buy used to be?
Yes.
I'm like, yes, that's where the Best Buy used to be. Why is it? Everybody remembers that's where the Best Buy used to be, but they had to close down because nobody ever walked in the place. Yeah.
That's a problem.
No, they just moved. They moved down to Brook Island.
Did they?
Yep.
That's a long
They
way.
they opened a bigger location.
Okay. Seems like a long way to go down there, Brook Highland.
Well, yeah,
guess,
I mean, it seems so long because you're on 280.
That's true. and more people live out there, so, I'm being a little unfair. Let's see. Candace says, I've lived on 280 since 93. I wish I had pictures of what it used to look like.
I remember.
Those were the days.
2-lane road. Once you got past the little pink liquor store, 2-lane road, all the way down to Lloyd's.
Yep.
And then nothing.
Nothing.
Until like Childersburg.
Yeah.
And that was still kind of nothing.
Yeah, boy. That has absolutely exploded, and mostly with restaurants for some reason, because they're like, we want to make sure that no one can move on this road at noon. The important
It's
thing
insane.
is,
I was there yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was like, I guess about 1 o'clock, and I was just like, this is like Friday at 3, because Friday at 3 is a nightmare. It's more like 5:30.
I will be there tomorrow. And
Good luck going through there.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Hope it's early in the day.
It's early in the morning. It is, yeah. Rhonda says, good morning. Just imagine purchasing a house through Sears and Roebuck mail order. My first home was, in fact, a Craftsman home that had been delivered on a train back in 1921 and built. They sent you the blueprints, and they sent you everything you needed to build the home, and then you hired people to come actually, follow the blueprints and construct it for you. It did not have, I guess because of the time it was built, did not have a single piece of plywood in it. Like, plywood didn't exist at the time? I don't know. But it had a wooden exterior, and it was a double wooden exterior in that there were boards that ran at a slant, and then there were boards that ran, siding that went on, that was painted siding. That was later replaced by me with aluminum siding or vinyl siding. But one of the most interesting things about it was once you got into the walls, because we decided we were going to do the whole thing over again. Like, we were going to rip out all of the you had lathes and plaster is what it was. So fur stripping, you might know. It's little tiny thin strips of wood that they then laid plaster over.
Did you cringe when you heard a tornado was coming ever with that place?
No.
No?
Are you
You're
kidding?
okay?
That was the most well-built house.
Really?
You go up in the attic, and the stuff that they consider to be tornado bracing today, or hurricane bracing if you're in Florida, we had that in spades and then some. I mean, this thing was
interesting.
crazy well-built. It was also 7 rooms. It was 2,500 square feet, but it was 7 rooms. So they were all really big rooms.
Good heavens.
I know, strange. But the best part of it was when we took the walls down, because we were going to insulate, rewire, for one thing, because every room had one outlet in it. That's what they had in 1921. Nothing was plugging in. What are you plugging in here? Nothing. So, yeah, we rewired everything, put in a whole bunch of new outlets, put new baseboards in, insulated all the walls, and then put up actual, wallboard, and then did the sheetrock and mud. And when you got those walls down, you were looking at 2x4s that were actually 2 inches by 4 inches.
Yeah.
If you do not understand or do not know about building, a standard 2x4 now is 1 5/8 by 3 5/8. I want to say,
Give or take.
I don't think it's even that. I think it
might
might
be
th-
1 3/4.
I think it's 3
1 3/4, 1 5/8. It's a little more than 1.5.
That's about it. It's a little more than 1.5 is what it comes down to. It's about 3.5 by 1.5. So we were taking, because we were using some, I was adding a new room. We were putting up a new wall here and there, and you could take a new 2x4 and hold it next to the old 2x4, and you just go, "What are we paying for? This is a joke."
Yeah.
Can we reuse this old 2x4?
Now, and we did, believe me, we
As
reused
much
a
as
lot
you
of those.
could, huh?
One of the problems would be like you'd drive a drill bit into it, and the drill bit would just snap off because that wood was so hard. It was great. I did have, when we had the inspection done on it after, because I got a construction loan, right? So you had to have somebody from the bank come by, and they looked at it and they said whether or not everything was good or bad, or does this qualify for the loan, and you start paying it back, and so on and so forth. And this guy comes in and he goes, "Oh, there's a lot of soft pine in here. I mean, a lot. This is a lot of yellow pine." I said, "Is that bad?" He goes, "No, but if this place ever catches fire, don't ask questions. Just run. Just run."
Jeez.
I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah, that's not something you want to hear.
If you say
Extra
so.
smoke detectors is
Yeah.
what you're saying
That's
to
exactly.
yourself.
You needed
We need one for every hall, every room, let's
two.
put 2 in
We
each
needed
room.
2 for
right?
every room. My dad bought 2 lots, says Don, in PC Laguna Beach by Thomas Donuts, 50 feet by 150 feet in 1959 for $500 each. They're worth $400,000 now. Unreal. He could have bought beachfront on Thomas Drive for $1,000. Didn't do
Good
it.
heavens.
Oof.
We just did not think
We just didn't know.
that stuff was going to be that valuable, that it was ever going to get good, It's still amazing to me when I think about all the opportunities down in Gulf Shores, and nobody wanted it. It was, did they think it was garbage land? I don't know. They just weren't
Well,
buying it.
again, maybe weather is a factor, and hurricanes
Could be.
tend to, people go, I don't want property right on the beach because I'm going to have to deal with this every season. Well, you went through it.
Yeah, I did.
So
Yeah.
that's the only, that's the one negative. And to get insurance, to insure when you build a place is
Not as expensive as you think it is. I was really bracing myself for the cost of that insurance when I bought that beach house, and I was pleasantly surprised when the number came in. It was like, that's very doable. Part of it is because it's a national program, and everybody who's on any piece of water whatsoever is in the pool, So people who live along the Mississippi are in the same pool as the people who live along the coast in Florida, who live along the coast in Alabama, who live along the coast in Texas, who live along the coast in Alaska. You're all in the same kind of flood insurance pool. Every once in a while, the federal government will complain about how, that pool's out of money and these rich people, and why are they getting subsidized insurance and it's unfair? And when you ask them a couple of questions like, well, last year you had a real surplus in that pool. What'd you do with it? Oh, we spent it. You spent it. You spent it. Oh, that's interesting. So you took our premiums and you didn't hold on to them. You just went and spent it on your little social programs. But somehow it's our fault that we're out of money this year. Gotcha. That's the federal government for you, friends. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Our good friend Steve is here, and he gets a turn. That's coming up within the next 10 minutes or so. We've got some news for you. We've got some food news for you. Brace yourself. You're going to get hungry. It's what we do. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5.